Well, happy Monday, everybody. It is Dallas Trading Floor coming to you live here in a very hot Dallas, Texas. It's about 100 degrees, and I am really hot. Getting hot here. Unfortunately, the stock market isn't very hot. Pulled back today. Basically, we are down on all the major indexes. This little bit of relief rally, I think, is probably not going to continue, obviously. Well, it didn't continue today, so it's definitely not continuing. Here's the situation. The Dow Jones is down about 0.35. The S&P 500 down 0.97, almost a percent. The biggest loser today, of course, is the NASDAQ, and then also the Russell was off as well. Here's the thing. It looks as if Tesla was heavily down today, over 7%. Also, Twitter was down. Of course, this is based on the situation with with the takeover of Twitter. Apparently, everybody's going to sue, and it's going to be ugly. But both stocks were definitely off. One other thing that happened today is because of COVID, which is happening, of course, in China. China basically shut down Macau, and of course, if you've been there or you know about it, it's basically a big Las Vegas. It's the biggest gambling city in the world. It's bigger than actually Las Vegas. It's completely shut down. So all the casino stocks that have China exposure, such as Wynn, WYNN, and the other ones are they're basically taking it in the shorts. I think, we're going to be seeing another leg down, unfortunately, for the market. I'm looking at, potentially as low as a 320 on the Spider. Take a look at that in just a second. Just kind of want to show you the performance of these gaming stocks relative to the S&P 500. And as you can see, it's very much below where the S&P 500 is. So the sector is not doing very well. And this just kind of shows you there's going to be weakness in the travel and leisure area. It's a good time to be short some of these things. We have a number of shorts that seem to be starting to work better than they've been working in the last 2 weeks. I definitely think we're going to take a leg down here in the market. So kind of without further ado, let's take a look at the S&P 500. And I kind of want to show you this just because it's pretty indicative of, I think, what's going to happen here in the near future. We did have this rally up here. We've been in this rally mode for about the last 10 days or so. And we've kind of hit a brick wall, and I think that, we're going to take another leg down. This was the first leg down here. Then we had the relief rally. This is kind of how it works. Second leg down, third leg down, relief rally, third leg down. This is the big one down. Then we had a relief rally. The fourth leg down, very significant, went all the way down here to 326. This is on the Spider, and of course this covers the S&P 500. This is the ETF that covers the S&P 500. We have this rally. We're losing strength here at the 21-day line, which makes sense because it's looking at resistance. I'm looking at, it to come down probably, and it's hard to say. I'm looking at this next leg down probably to be about 350, and then I think it's going to take another leg down to about 320. I think we're going to see some support at 320, but who knows? The reason I believe that is if we go to the weekly chart here, you can see that at about 320 we have this old floor here. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so the first support I believe is going to be about 350. That's where I think this is going in the next few days. Right now we're at 384. I think it's going to move down to about 350 and then below, and then it's going to rally, and then I think we're going to see it move down to about 320. That's the reason. So I do believe that we have basically, sort of this channel going down here. So I definitely think we're going to move quite a bit lower. Why? Because this was essentially, we're going to give back all of the gain that we had since the COVID meltdown. And of course, this was the COVID meltdown here. So I definitely think we're coming all the way down to there before we're going to get some support. So expect expect some more pain. Expect a little bit expect a little bit more pain there as we come down. So it's not, it's just really a tough time right now. Not a great time to be long. Not a good time to be short. It's just, boy, it's a tough market to trade. You really just kind of have to be, you really just kind of have to be in there with, just kind of sitting on your hands, and that's a very, very hard thing to do. Let's see if we can get my, okay, should be able to get those slides back. Here we go. And let's see. All right, well, okay. Okay, well, for some reason, my slides are not showing here. I don't know why that is the case. Let's see if we can get back to, there we go. All right, so hopefully, no, it's not. Oh, goodness. Okay, all right. Maybe, I don't know. I'm for some reason I've lost my, I can't seem to get the desktop back here, so I apologize for this. Let's see if I can just shut down things. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. Just going and shutting things down. Okay, maybe it will give me the desktop. That would be great. Nope, it does not let me see it. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's get rid of this. Okay. Sorry for this, everybody. I've had an issue with. It's not letting me. It's not letting me control this here. Hold on. All right. So maybe I can just get rid of that. Let's just see if we can get rid of these things. Wow. It's not letting me go, is it? All right, let's see if we can get rid of this. Let's see if we can get rid of this. Sorry for this, folks. I'm having a little bit of trouble with some of my... Okay. Okay. Let's see if we can get rid of that. All right. Let's see if it lets me come back in here. See the... It's not letting me. Gosh. Oh, goodness. Okay. All right. I don't know why I am not able to... Okay. Maybe it will let me stop this. Maybe I can do a force quit. Trouble there. Boy. Yay. Always a problem. Okay, so not the greatest when it comes to that. So let's take some questions Hopefully I can shut that down. Very good. Okay. So, your thoughts on MUSA? Let's take a look at MUSA. Let me just pull up my charts. All right, MUSA. This is Murphy USA. And let's take a look at it to see kind of what's going on here. Definitely nice action today. We're above the pivot. I think we're a little extended, but we're up after hours, so very nice. The pivot on this one, no, we're still in the buy zone on this one. This I wouldn't close this one, by the way, Farouk. What I would do here, you bought it at 150. Wow, you are a superstar. Here's the thing. Boy, you bought right back here. You bought right down here at the first pivot. Boy, that is a very, very, very good, very good buy. Here's what I would do, Farouk. I would sell half of the position, take some profits here. You deserve it. Boy, this is looking really, really good. Yeah, I mean, this is you've done very, very well here. So I would take half the profits off the table. So that's what I would do. That's what I would do. Fantastic. I won't be able to catch the live. What do you think about the final drop on EVH? Should I be concerned? Well, it is volatile. It is volatile. Unfortunately, I was stopped out of it. EVH. And I thought I had a good entry, but I didn't. It pulled all the way back down to the 21-day line. As you can see, my entry here was bad. I was stopped out right here today. I was basically stopped out at the at the stop. My stop loss was right there there we go. So stopped out at 31.95. That's exactly where I was stopped out. Not great. I mean, I wish I had been able to stay in it because I do think it's going to bounce, but I was stopped out right there. I came in. This is the difficulty when you are buying extended, and unfortunately, anything that's basically above the pivot is extended, so it's really, really tough. So I bought here. I was stopped out there. Not a good look. Not a good look at on this at all. Really, not a good look at all. Let's go back to some of the. Let's go back to some of the slides here. All right. Let's see if I can zoom through them. All right, we did. Okay, so this is basically kind of where I'm at in terms of my holdings. I only have one thing I'm holding right now, long, and that is a McKesson. It was down a little bit today, but overall I think we're up on it. Let's look at that MCK. Everything else I'm in cash. I'm just sort of waiting for an opportunity. And every time I put my toe in the water, I seem like I get burned here a little bit. I've round tripped it, man. I've basically, I bought a half position at 330. It's currently 330. So I've basically gone nowhere in 4 days. I've gone literally, I've gone literally nowhere in 4 days. I entered here. This is below the pivot too. The pivot's up here at 338 right there. Okay, so we're entering it below the pivot, so that's 338. I entered here at 330. It pulled back to the 40-day, the 50-day line. It looks like it's getting a little bit of love. Moved up, pulled back a little bit today, then moved up. So hopefully we're going to come up to the to the pivot at 338. But currently, it does have a good strong RS line. That's all I'm in. It's just amazing. I just have not been, there just hasn't been all that many opportunities. Here's what I'm doing on shorts. Basically, I've got several shorts here. I've got a short on American Express. Let's look at that one. AXP, and what that is, basically, that was down today. I do think that we're going to see this move lower. I do think we're going to see American Express move a little bit lower here. But I did have this bear put spread again. It's very small. It's just it's a very small. It's a very small position. I think we're going to see this move lower. That's my guess. Even though in the relative strength line is, you see, it's moving down. So I do believe that we're going to see this move lower. It did move up today, so we'll see. We'll see, but we'll see how that one. We'll see how that one comes out. Lululemon. This is another one that I have a short on. And I may have shorted this one too early. I do think that we're going to get some weakness here. I didn't quite. My timing on this one. This is what's so difficult when you're doing these shorts, is getting the correct entry. My entry probably was not the best, but I do think that now it's going to start to move lower. It's up a little bit after hours. There's a lot of there's a lot of interest in this one, but I do think this is going to go lower. And I've got a little bit of time on this one. I've got until September, so I think this one is probably going to go lower. It's got to go lower than 280. We're at 284, so we got 4 to go down, and this one will start to come into the money. Right now, it's not, though. Again, tough to move, but I do think we're going to be moving lower right now. I think we're going to move lower this time around. Let's look at Snowflake. This is another bear put spread that I have. This one also very tricky. It is starting to move down, but just barely. I mean, it was down today, and I think we're going to see it move lower. But again, my entry was not perfect here, not by a long shot. This is I've got a 135, 130, 125 put, so it's got to move down at least 25 in order for me to be in the money. So I may have to do something with the Snowflake one. I'm off about $120 on this one as well. But I do think that with the market changing direction, we should see these pick up a little bit. Let's look at Starbucks. SBUX is the symbol, of course, for Starbucks, and this one also looks like it's starting to move over again. My entry was poor here. It did move over that 50-day line, but now it's starting to, I think, get a little bit of weakness. It's up a little bit after hours, but it's starting to move down. Again, this one doesn't really start making money until it gets to 75. We're at 78 currently, so we're about 3 away. Hopefully that will move lower as well. So those are just kind of some of the shorts that I have. Sorry about the little bit of a problem that I had earlier. All right, let's look at the Bitcoin. I want to look at Bitcoin right now, just kind of show you what is going on with Bitcoin. I did an analysis on Bitcoin. The where it says that B, this is how Bitcoin is trading. It's basically holding right about the $20,000 level. I do think it's going to go lower. If you compare it to the Spider, which is the S&P 500, as you can see, it is way underperforming the market, and I do expect Bitcoin to move lower even from here. Another thing that you might want to look at is the 6-month USD chart on Bitcoin. Again, if you started out here, basically 6 months ago, you were way up here about $50,000. It's lost almost 48% of its price. So it's not a good time to be in Bitcoin. I do think that we're going to get some support on Bitcoin when it moves basically to, I think it's going to move lower than 11,000. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but I think that when Bitcoin hits about 8,000, I'm probably a buyer, but right now I'm not. I'm just letting it fall because I think it's going to fall even more than it is currently. All right, so thank you very much. Let's look at Shopify. This one, I so want to short this one, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid, I have not. My shorting capability is not as good as it once was. The reason for the price on Shopify, of course, is because of the split. It did have that 10-to-1 split, so it brought it way, way down. But still, if we go back here to the monthly chart, you can kind of see how much this has come down. This is really interesting. Currently, on a split adjusted basis, we're at about $30 a share with a relative strength of 4. I do think that it is coming lower, and I'm looking at basically some support here right about 18. That's kind of where I'm looking at it. It is rallying here. It's been coming down month by month, rally up here a little bit. Look at this selling that's going on Shopify. I think we're going to get some more selling here. Now, we do have a blue bar here, but I don't think this is bottomed. I think we're going to get a little bit of a shelf here, and then it's going to move lower. So here's the thing on Shopify. If you're down more than 7% on Shopify, you should sell it, because I do believe it's going lower, because we are in a downward trend in the market. And, it's just a fact. And the fact that we are means that Shopify is probably going to lose, I think, probably at least another 20 to 30%. And I'm trying to figure out a way to benefit from that. Of course, the ultimate way would be to short it. But the problem is there is a lot of short interest on Shopify. So it's not that easy to borrow the shares. And so it's difficult. I mean, we do have short interest on it. And it is kind of looking like it is settling a little bit at 30. But I do think that, once it breaks below 30, then it's likely to move lower. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set an alert at $30 on a share on Shopify. So, moves below 30. And that's kind of where I'm thinking, we might have a potential here. If Shopify moves below about 30, I think then we can have probably another crack at the apple. Look at this relative strength line. Terrible. It is basically, it's underperforming the S&P, as you can see, because this is more of a severe angle than that one. So all in all, even though their sales are going up, this is on the fundamental analysis, their profits are just cratering. So I do expect this one to move a lot lower. Notice that the number of funds are starting to get out. Now there's a lot of people in this. There's a lot of people in Shopify basically at above 100. As you can see, this is the overhead supply. So as it rallies, you're going to see it. It's not going to be able to rally up as high, because the people that are up here, what they're going to do is when this rallies, of course, they're going to sell. So the best time, of course, to short it, of course, is when it is in an uptrend. And let's see if we on the 10-minute chart. Just kind of want to look how the intraday chart looks on it. Yeah, it looks like it's getting some support right about 32 currently. But I do expect it to move down. See, look at this. This was the this is the leg down, and then it's going to get support and then go on another leg down. But I'm, looking at a lot of selling action on there. So I think you have to be super careful when it comes to that. Let's look at CVNA and see if we can Carvana. Oh yeah. This is a short if I ever saw one. I wish I was shorting this one. I was gonna, but I didn't pull the trigger on it. I didn't pull the trigger on this short. But this has lost $22 now, of course, and this has lost about 95% of its value. Let's look at the monthly. As you can see, it's got a relative strength of 1. This is the worst. It doesn't get any worse than that. When it came out, basically it came out about $8. Well, it came out a little bit higher than that. The low is $8. So there's probably, I would say, another $5 to $10 there for it to move lower. Let's take a question from TikTok. Thank you so very much here. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla was off heavily today. TSLA, of course, is the symbol for Tesla. And let's kind of look at where we're at with there. I'm going to go to the daily chart first. Now, normally I start with the weekly chart, but let's look at the daily chart just to kind of show you this fall off. Here's the problem again with Tesla, and we've been talking about this quite a bit. The pivot on Tesla is at about 900, so there's a lot of overhead supply above 900. So what happens is every time the Tesla rallies, the people that bought it up there, they're trying to unload. So that's where you get a lot of this selling action. Tesla was down 6.55% today, down to the 21-day line. I do think that we'll probably get some support at about 620, and then it may bounce off of that. But right now, it's just not looking very good. The relative strength line is flat, though. So what would I do here? I wouldn't do anything. If I was down more than 6% on this one, I would sell it because it looks like we're going to get it. It's going to move even lower. We need. It looks like it tested the 620 and then it moved up a little bit, and it looks like it's going to test it once more. So unfortunately, this is getting to a point, and I'm not doing this yet, but this is getting to a point where Tesla may be a short. Okay, Tesla may be a short. This is the left shoulder. This is sort of the head here, what they call the head. And then if you look back here, this is going way out. This is the left shoulder. So what I'm looking at here is that we came down. We had we had the line here move, and I do think that that we are likely to get another leg down here. This is probably a good place to short it. I want to see a little bit more action on this relative strength line. I want to see what this does, but I do think that Tesla is setting up for a short. And I think it could easily move below. I think it could easily move down to 620 here. So I think that Tesla is starting to actually set up for a short, and I don't think it's going to move much beyond that 50-day line. So here's the point. Here's the thing on this. I think you've got to be very careful on this one. I do think, though, it is setting up as again. I do think it's setting up as a short. I want to look at the owners here and the funds. Currently, the number of funds is holding pretty steady at 3598, but it is starting to drop. So what I do see is, even though Tesla has has a lot of fund sponsorship, and the fundamentals are relatively good. You can see this has had huge sales increases. The last 3 quarters have been excellent. The profits have been excellent, but I think that it still may be overvalued for the market. The PE ratio is 83, and the average PE ratio in the automotive sector is, let's take a look. I think the average is about 24. But my guess, let's see if we can find out. Close that. So here's the thing with Tesla. If you're down more than 7%, I would consider selling it. It is starting to set up as a short. So, that is sort of that's sort of what is going on with Tesla. So Tesla is setting up as a short, and that's amazing. I haven't shorted it yet, but is setting up as a short. I haven't shorted it yet, and I want to make very clear on this because, but I do think it is setting up as a short. I do think we're going to move down significantly. If we get more weakness in the relative strength line, I think it probably will move lower. Now, the next kind of place that's likely to get support is right here, and this is the consolidation here at about 490. So this could fall easily 200 to 300 points, very, very easily, if it's not able to hold on there. See, what happened is we were above the 200-day line. This is very critical. We were above the 200-day line. Then we lost support at the 200-day line. Then we moved to the 50-day the 50-day line. We're starting to lose support at the 50-day line. So more than likely, we're going to see it move like this. We're going to see it move down. And I think that if it falls below 620, then I think it's going to fall lower. So I'm looking at a possible short here on Tesla. I have not done it yet, but I'm gonna look for that and see if that makes any sense. Because I do think that that could be a good place. That could be a good place. Thank you. Could I start a position in SDS? Let's look at SDS here and see. Okay, the ultra short. Okay, yeah, you're probably going to do well with this one. This is a ETF that shorts the S&P 500, and it's starting to trend upwards because, of course, we're starting to see a lot of people put puts on the S&P. So this one potentially, is starting to gain favor. The thing about these ultra short ETFs is they don't quite move with the they don't quite move with it's better, I think, to short the actual S&P 500, to borrow the shares, sell them, and then buy them back. I think that's a better strategy than some of these ultra shorts. Now, not everyone can do that, of course, because not everyone has some people are trading in an IRA, and you can't do that in an IRA. But a better an idea here might be to short the spider and see if you can get a little bit of just to short the spider. Now it's come up a little bit. I do think that tomorrow it's very, very likely we're going to get a leg down on the spider. So let's look at that. I think it's very likely that we're going to get a leg down, and I do think it's going to bottom out at about 372. So we've got a little bit of done. So I do think we're going to see a leg down here on the spider, and that might be a better option for you to do. But you could definitely start a position in SDS. I would be very careful with it, though, because one of the things about these inverse ETFs is they don't quite. They're a little bit tough. They're a little bit tough. Tough. They're a little bit tough. All right. Let it fall like a sack of bricks. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. All right. Great question. I think if Bitcoin hits 11,500, I'm taking out a loan. I think you're right. I think you're right here. What I'm doing, and maybe I'm being Mr. Negative here, but I do think that 11,000 is a major. Is a major support, and if it moves below that, I think you could buy this at 8,000 and it probably would work. But this is such a crazy market because right now the best performing asset, believe it or not, and I know this is everybody's going to tell you, but inflation, Jim, actually the best performing asset right now is cash, and that is really, really strange, but it's true. Cash. So let's look at some of the. I want to show you cash against Bitcoin. Let's see if I can put this together. Let's see. I gotta remember the cash equivalent ETF. And the cash equivalent ETF, and I don't remember this offhand. I should. Okay, so this is basically money market. Let's see, what is it? Short treasury bond, short maturity, ultra short, GSY. GSY. All right. So if we were to look at the GSY, let's go up here. Let's go take a look at the GSY. Can I come up? This is the short term, and then Let's see if I can put that against the S&P. All right. Okay, did I get that? Did that work? And then put, and then add the symbol GSY, which essentially is cash. Yeah. All right. So here is. I'm gonna make that bigger. There we go. All right, so here is the S&P against cash. You'll notice that there is a slight movement down in cash, but right now the best performing asset, at least since the beginning of the year, has been cash. That's this GSY here. This is the spider. So actually, if you just didn't do anything at all, and you just held cash, you would you would have saved 12% approximately. See, it's as you can see now. Even though the GSY did decline a little bit, this is inflation. The spider did worse. So, if we were to, let's say we were to look at this against Bitcoin, and that would be there's a proxy for it called GBTC. That's the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which is 4% of the world's Bitcoin. This shows you the relative performance of these three assets. This is Bitcoin here, GBTC. This is the spider. This is basically the S&P 500, and this is cash. So if you were to end Bitcoin, you have lost, since the beginning of the year, about 42%, as you can see, of your money. See, this is 100%. The spider's about 90% approximately. You've lost that much money. So I do think that we are going to see some, we're going to see some support on Bitcoin, and I think it's going to be, and I'm just looking at this, but I think where it's going to be is we're going to be right here at 20,000, but I think it's going actually lower than that. I think it's going to go basically to about 11,000. I think it's going to go to about 11,000. So that might be a good thing to back up the truck. But remember, sometimes you get punished for wishing for things, and when it gets to about 11,500, which I think is coming, you're going to look at that and you're going, wow, that's overvalued. That's overvalued. So be careful what you wish for on Bitcoin. All right, we said retail market. Yeah, it's going to be volatile through the election. You're right. I agree with you totally on that. They're trying, but I don't think they're going to be able to. I just don't think they're going to be able to manipulate it this much, because I just think that there's a problem. I mean, we've got inflation out of control, and that's just going to be a fact. Are we done with the release value? Yes, I think we are. at least for another few weeks. That's what happens with these darn relief rallies. They just, they're just so, they're not great. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. I just want to look at NVIDIA here and see if. I'm trying to use these other charts because I think sometimes they're a little bit better. They're easier to see. Let's see. All right, this is NVIDIA and the S&P. So let's kind of get a good look-see. There we go. Just trying to make it nice there. All right. So basically, this is kind of where we're at with NVIDIA. And this is NVIDIA here. Since the beginning of the year, it's lost about 25% of its value. Again, the spider's down about 10%. It does look like the trend is accelerating, though. So we might be in a situation here where I think NVIDIA may fall even further. And that would be a tragedy, but I think it's going to happen because okay. Trying to get it to give me there we go. All right, NVIDIA. Okay, boom. Yeah, there we go. So here's the here's the chart of NVIDIA, and it's looking pretty bad. We've got this downward trend, and it looks like it's bounced again. The relative strength line is pointing downwards. See, this is the blue line here. That's something that we definitely have to look at. But it's pointing down. Can we, if you're, this is not a good time to sell it. It does look like it's getting weaker. It could easily move down again, another leg down. So let's look at the weekly chart to see kind of where the support is. I seriously think, we could, we're right at 140 now. The bottom of this consolidation, this old consolidation, it's about 120. So I think we have more pain, more pain for NVIDIA. I think it can fall further. I definitely think it can fall easily to 120. That's my guess. So that's about 30 points. Not what you want to hear. I know it's not what you want to hear. So inflation is not here. It's over. It might be. It might be. The price of oil has definitely, has definitely come down a little bit. But I want to show you this. Why I don't think inflation is over with yet. Unfortunately, I like to believe it was. But there is one thing on the horizon, and that's the price of natural gas, and that. Let's see if I can get it to give me natural gas. There we go. All right. So this is the chart of natural gas. Let's look at the monthly chart because that makes it easier. And the trend is clearly up on natural gas, and this is in the U.S. So trend is naturally up on natural gas. So I don't think inflation is over by a long shot. I think we're going to see it at least through the end of the year. I really do. I think it's at least through the end of the year. I think they're going to have to raise rates again, and it's just not a good situation. So I think right now the best place to be is in cash. At least that's what I'm seeing. All right, let's take a question from let's take a question on Amazon. And what I want to do here is I want to compare Amazon and cash. Let's just kind of see what that might look like. So GSY is basically cash. That's the symbol. And then let's see if I can. Okay. So let's get rid of this. See if I can put another thing, and let's put in Amazon. So since the beginning of the year, here's the kind of the way it looks. Natural gas. If you invested in natural gas at the beginning of the year, you would be up significantly, 65%. Cash, of course, is about 100, so that's cash. And then Amazon, you would be down. So basically, almost any logical investment here has underperformed natural gas, with the exception of commodities. Now, are we coming off on this? Well, definitely natural gas is starting to abate. As you can see, since January, since June, it's been coming down. So that indeed is a good thing, but it's still above. So I wouldn't invest in natural gas now because we're in a downward trend. But it does look like, again, it's just not a good time to, the best thing to be in right now is cash. It's just very strange. So with Amazon, I would not be in Amazon. Amazon is more than likely going lower. That's what I'm seeing on these charts as I'm seeing Amazon, starting to make a move lower. Again, it's underperformed the market. It's underperformed cash, actually. That's the interesting thing about Amazon this year is Amazon has significantly underperformed cash. So would I get into it at this point? No. Would I short it here? Well, I would be a little bit careful about shorting it here, but I think it is going to go lower, and I just think it's going to go lower as inflation picks up. So, just not a great situation. All right, let's look at AR. That's Antero Resources, good oil and gas company. Let's take a look at this AR. And I'm going to look at the chart here on this one just to kind of look at it. Yeah, it looks like it's making a move. Looks like it's starting to. Looks like it's bottomed here. A nice relative strength, 99. I definitely like that. The question is, has it bottomed? Let's look at the volume here. Well, there is buying volume coming in. It's up after hours. I do like that. The question is, could you buy it off this reversal? I don't know. That's a good question. Let's compare this. I want to compare this, first of all, to cash and also to ExxonMobil. So let's take a look. Let's compare these stocks to see what their performance is. Kind of like this tool, actually. That's why I've been getting so excited here. So Antero Resources, and then let's see if we can put another one in here, and that would be Exxon. That would be GSY, which is cash. And then ExxonMobil, XOM. Let's take a look there. Yeah, okay. So actually, you know what? You have a good point here. You have a very, very good point. If we take a look, if you just invested in cash, that's going to be there. This is Exxon. It's up significantly, but since the first of the year, but this was in a downward trend. AR was in a downward trend, but it looks like we're getting a nice little relief rally there. So it looks like it may have turned the corner. And if that is the case, look at that. Wow, that was up three. Wow, that's amazing. It was up 3 times from the beginning of the year. Absolutely amazing. The question is, are we going to get that going forward? I don't know, but it does look like it is it's making this move. And this one, I agree with you. I think this one may be a very, very good, a very good case here. This is the, oops. This is a little bit of leg. This is the leg up. There we go. And then we had this leg down. So the question is it bouncing here? Well, it does look like if it could move above the 21-day line, that's where I would possibly look at it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set an alert at the 21-day line, which currently, let's look at that 21-day line. Oops. Okay, let me get that out there correctly. The 21-day line is at 33.91. So let's look at that, 33.91. And let's see. So if this is moving higher, if it moves beyond that 21-day line, that's where I want to take a look. I think that you might be able to buy as it moves above that 21-day line. Not ready to buy yet, but this does look like a reversal. So very, very good there. All right. Well, I am running out of time here. So finally, is anyone talking about, finally someone's talking about, okay. Thank you. Are going up for a short. Yeah. Natural gas is really important. And the reason natural gas is so important, especially in the summer, is that natural gas is what is used primarily to generate electricity. Now, I know that everyone is going to tell you that, it's windmills, it's solar, it's whatever, but really what generates natural gas, at least in the United States, is natural gas. So the question is, what is the price of natural gas? Well, up until very recently, natural gas pretty much was landlocked. It was only used in the United States. Now, of course, with the LNG terminals, it is sort of an international commodity, but it's still different than that. But one of the things I want to look at, let's take a look at natural gas again, because this is going to give us one of the key inputs aside from oil that we're going to get in the market. And this is why this is so important. It's nat gas. There we go. This is the natural gas price here This is Antero Resources. This is one we just looked at. This is an oil company, very, 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 very good. Actually, Antero Resources actually outperformed nat gas. Now, part of the reason why is because this company produces a lot of natural gas. So that's part of the reason. But look at how similar these charts are. See how these so similar charts are? So I do think we're getting a spike in natural gas prices, and it's going to go through the summer. So I definitely think we have a reversal here, and I think that we're probably likely to see higher natural gas, which would mean that we would have a bounce. So am I doing anything about it? No, I am not. But I do think we're going to see some higher natural gas prices by this end of the summer. I'm basically keeping my powder dry, trying to wait to see if there's an opportunity to short. But I'm not going to be shorting natural gas or oil, not based on this. It looks like they're going to have a move up, so I'm going to be waiting on that. So, thanks for bearing with my technical problems. I'm sorry that I had problems today. Everybody watching on TikTok, thank you so very much. By the way, we show the same thing on YouTube at youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. If you're not already a member of the Action Trailer, it's super easy to get on there. All you have to do is go to www.Dallas Trading Floor. Also, if you could, really appreciate it if you would like the show. That helps us out a tremendous amount, so please like it and subscribe. That would be great too. Until tomorrow, I'll be back at about 5 o'clock tomorrow. Hopefully my equipment will be working a little bit better than it was today, and we'll be able to show you some more stocks then. So thanks again, and happy trading, everybody. I will see you tomorrow at 5.